What's up, AnimeBallZ fans? Ray here with another episode of This Is. Today we will be looking at the 2011 anime movie release, Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works. So without further ado, let's get
off the tracks.
Now, Fate Stay Night started off as a visual novel before it got turned into an anime and before it got turned into a movie. So I will point out that if you've seen the anime, Unlimited Blade Works does change quite a lot of events in the anime that happened, because it actually follows a completely different path or a playthrough of the visual novel than what the anime did. So they cover two different parts of the visual novel pretty much, which is why it gets a little bit different in the second half, at least. Even a little bit of the first half, but mostly the second half. If you've seen the anime, you start going, what's going on over here? The story in both the anime and Unlimited Blade Works focuses around the main character, Shiro Emiya, who is an honest and hard-working teenager who unwillingly enters a tournament to the death called the Fifth Holy Grail War. In this tournament, players must compete against one another with magic and kind of avatars that embody the legendary spirits of heroes throughout the history of the world, in order to be the last man standing, pretty much. And the last man standing gets the Holy Grail, which is said to grant any one wish that the wielder so desires. Now, technically, the story starts 10 years ago, after the events of another anime that happened, but we won't get into that one because that's a different kettle of fish right now. But there was a huge fire in the city where Emiya lives, and he was thought to be the sole survivor. And because he was the only one left alive in this huge fire, and he was only like, I think, 5 years old or so at the time, he was taken in by the kindly man known as Kiritsugu Emiya, and due to a unrelated incident, he died several years later, a couple of years before the anime of Fate Stay Night takes place. So the responsibility that Emiya feels to the people who died in that giant fire, and also the salvation that he achieved through his father, has formed a strong sense of justice and the desire to save people in Emiya. And as a result, he's spent all his days training his body and his his small skill in magic for the task of one day helping people greatly. Now, one evening, Emiya is at school late at night. The details escape me as to why exactly he was there that late at night, but he witnesses two men fighting. One's using a pair of swords and the other is using a long lance. And he's found out by these two people, and he's targeted because they have a connection with the serial killings that has been happening in the area as of late. And, well, obviously they don't want to be found, and therefore they have to kill anybody who happens to see them. Am I right? So Emiya is chased all the way back to his house by the man holding a lance, who is known simply as Lancer. And Lancer starts to attack him, and Emiya's too weak to fight off the attacks of this absolutely devastatingly powerful man. And so Emiya is pretty much on the brink of death before a young lady in shining armor comes to save him. Now, she introduces herself as Saber and says that she is Shiro's servant. She's one of the avatars that I mentioned earlier, that they house the legendary spirits of heroes throughout history. Not going to spoil it and tell you who she is the embodiment of, because that is a huge plot point in the anime. But she's here to help Shiro because he is now entered into the Fifth Holy Grail War. But as Emiya is, well, because he has unwittingly entered this tournament and he has little to, well, he has some skill in magic, but it's very little skill. He has to obviously team up with someone stronger than him so that they can form an alliance and hopefully at least survive this war. And that's when one of the the female main character, or one of the main female characters, Rin Tosaka, enters the scene. She is one of the other masters in this Holy Grail War, and she actually is the master of what is arguably one of the most popular characters in Fate Stay Night, and I would say probably one of the strongest servants in the entire 5th Holy Grail War. She is the master of the servant known as Archer. Now, Rin and Shiro form their alliance, and it's all well and good except for the fact that Archer, Rin's servant, really dislikes Shiro for a reason that is initially unknown but becomes revealed in the course of the movie. Again, not going to spoil it because that is probably the biggest plot twist in the entire movie. So yeah, you're gonna have to watch it for that one. So again, because I've told you about the story and the setting and the characters, and that's all out of the way now I can actually focus more on the voices behind the characters in a segment that we here at AnimeBallZ like to call
The Good, The Bad, and the Dubbers.
Now, there are a lot of characters in Fate Stay Night. There are 7 participants in every Holy Grail War, so there's 7 voices right there, plus another 7 for the servants that serve them, pretty much. Plus the reveal of an 8th servant later on in the anime and the movie, and then some convoluted stuff that happens, and we end up with around about 12 to 13 main characters. Some don't appear as much as others, some are forgotten about halfway through the series, but we end up with around 12 to 13 main characters. I don't have enough time to talk to you about each and every one of those characters and their voices, so instead I'm just going to focus on the 4 main characters I mentioned earlier, which are Shiro, Rin, Saber, and Archer. So the first up on the list, Shiro Emiya. He is voiced by Sam Riegel. You might remember that name from my old Blue Exorcist review, as he voiced Mephisto Phelps in Blue Exorcist, but he also did a couple of other roles, including Gunter in Kyokara Mao, Shinobu Morita in Lucky Star, and Faust the Eighth in Shaman King. Rin Tosaka, Shiro's ally and partner in this war of madness, pretty much, is voiced by Mela Lee, who also does such voices as Erika Kawasawa in Durarara, Shinku in Rosen Maiden, and Yuki Cross in Vampire Knight. Saber, who is Shiro's servant in the 5th Holy Grail War, is voiced by Michelle Ruff. She also does such voices as Rukia Kuichi from Bleach, Yoko Linta from Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann, and Yuki Nagato from The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Archer, who is Rin's servant in Fate Stay Night and Unlimited Blade Works, is voiced by none other than one of the greatest anime voice actors, in my opinion, Liam O'Brien. Now, Liam O'Brien's well known for a couple of roles, including Gaara from Naruto and Naruto Shippuden, Shobu Kirifuda from Duel Masters, and Nanashi from Marchin Awakens Romance. So, all in all, Unlimited Blade Works is a pretty awesome movie. For fans of the Fate Stay Night series who haven't seen it yet, I definitely highly recommend this to you guys. And for those of you who have heard about Fate Stay Night and are really interested in it, probably check out the anime before you check out the movie, because the movie does reveal some things that are a little they're meant to be a little bit secret in the actual anime. All in all, I'd give Unlimited Blade Works a 8 out of 9 vending machines. It's definitely been one of the greatest anime movies I've ever seen, especially considering I am a huge Fate Stay Night fan. It answered a lot of questions that I had about certain characters in the series, and well, I must say the fight scenes were incredibly impressive to watch, including a absolutely terrific end scene which just led to a perfect climax, which just it was really good. The ending to this movie is absolutely amazing, and I highly recommend it to everyone watching this. Anyway, that's it for my contribution to This Is June. This has been another hopefully entertaining This Is. I'm Ray, and until the next time that we meet, I'll catch you on the flip side.